Hey everybody, Alan here from Drone Pilot Ground School and UAV Coach, and I'm really excited to be chatting tonight with Jason Lavanture of Blue Lava Media and Realtor Vision, and Rob Estep of LMP 360 Media. Guys, what's up? Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Alan.
All right, where are you guys located?
Traverse City, Michigan here. It's just starting to get cold. Trees are changing, leaves are falling. A lot less swimsuits coming down the river this time of year. So our office is right on the river, and we usually have anywhere from 40 to 50 kayakers and canoers going down the river every day, and they're few and far between because it's bitter. It's getting to be bitter cold up here in the North Woods.
Surprise, Arizona, we're below 100 degrees, so we're doing great here. Jason, when you've got that snow on the ground, we'll be nice and comfortable.
All right.
That's great. Well, again, thank you guys for your time tonight. The goal of this video is to discuss drones and real estate and to kind of unravel the real estate opportunity. A lot of guys are purchasing small unmanned aerial systems and looking to work with real estate brokers, golf courses, dude ranches, hotel properties, and both of you guys have found success shooting real estate with drones. And Jason also has another service that I really want to dive into a little bit that's helpful for folks looking to get into the industry. So I think the best place to get started is to have you guys talk a little bit about who you are, what your company does, and then I've got a ton of questions for the two of you. I'm really excited to get started. So Rob, why don't you start? Tell us a little bit about LMP 360 Media.
We're a full-service marketing real estate photography company. We do full motion videos. We do the drone aerial videos, 3D tours. I mean, anything, everything you need to market a real estate property, that's what we offer to agents. We've been doing that for about 5 years now. Had great success with it. Implementing the aerials was probably one of the best things that we ever added to our lineup. And it's just, having multiple services has been a great thing for us to be able to offer.
That's great. And I want to dive back into when you decided to bring aerials into your business and sort of what that thought process was like for you. Jason, tell us about Blue Lava Media and Realtor Vision.
Hey, thanks, Alan. Yep. Well, I helped start RTV in 1999 at realtorvision.com. It was set up originally just as a website for professional photographers. Believe it or not, back then you could only upload panoramic imagery to the very simple 300 pixel wide by maybe 200 pixel tall player. And by 2005, we had several hundred professional photographers using it. The system supported still images then. We were attracting many clients, but then we branched off to become a national photography service. Today, present day, our player supports full motion HD video, still images, panoramas, spherical, cylindrical, and we service very, very large clients like 1-800-Flowers, Starkey Hearing Centers, La Quinta Choice Hotels, Red Roof Inn, America's Best Value Inn, Motel 6, and lots of others. In fact, Rob, I think we probably sent you some business here in the last year. With
Definitely have.
Yeah. It's so in 2007 we started up. I was given an opportunity as a challenge by one of my tour providers to walk the walk and because I always provided consulting and advice, and challenged to start up Blue Lava Media to actually be kind of an undercover boss and offer our TV products and services locally here in Traverse City. So that's where Blue Lava Media came from. And like Rob's company, we are a full-service real estate marketing firm. We shoot right now upwards of 800 homes a year and growing. We've grown every year. And like Rob, I would definitely say that adding the aerial drone service to our service offering has been a big boost in revenue, upwards of, it should be close to 30,000 by the time this year is out, just in sheer gross revenue.
So 30, we're speaking toward the end of 2016, and you're saying that just this year, $30,000 in gross revenue from aerial services. Is that right?
That is correct. So we rolled out a couple different packages. Last year, I believe when the dust settled, we shot about 670 homes. I knew we'd be on track to come close to 800 this year. But adding, you got to keep in mind our photo service packages are anywhere from $150 to $250 per home. So when adding the aerial drone service on, we're talking about adding another $150 to $260 package right on top of that. And so we're going to come real close to about 200 orders that'll come through before the end of this year, which is, I figured we'd do 100. So getting 200 was awesome.
That's great. And Rob, I don't know how comfortable you feel sharing specific numbers or what kind of success you found, but give us a sense of what kind of volume you're doing with aerial shots and sort of how you've integrated that into your existing service offering.
Well, we shoot about 1,500 homes a year. We're probably close on the track to do about 1,700 this year. Since getting Part 107 licensed and being able to operate commercially, in the last 2 weeks, we've done 14 homes, just aerials alone. Then most of those have started adding on additional products that we offer just by us putting out there that we're FAA compliant to be able to offer the drone service. And so it's brought in a lot of new clients for us just in the past 2 weeks.
That's great. And I think if people are listening to this, they're going to want to know, how do you get clients? How do you get, but I want to come back to that because I don't want to skip over the sort of the beginning of what I wanted to ask you guys is you were running full-scale real estate marketing firms, the two of you. How did you decide to bring in aerial services, and what were those initial conversations like? What was the transition point for you? Was it a YouTube video that you watched? Was it a conversation you had? What was your first system that you purchased? And I recognize I'm asking about 7 questions embedded into one question, but I'm trying to get back into the mindset of what it was like for you when you first started shooting. And Jason, I'll let you answer first.
Thanks. Yeah, and that is it's a great story. And I do remember very well looking at it. There were several guys locally that were pilots. I'm also a private pilot, not current, but from back in the day. And there were several guys locally in our area that were approaching Blue Lava Media, and we hadn't received any requests. And so it wasn't something that I was really wanting to partner on. I've been a big believer to do as much as possible on your own without being silly. I learned years ago that just because I could put in my own wood floors doesn't mean that I should have done that, but it turned out nice. I ended up writing my 333 waiver, which took I was just in the evenings, as much time as I had. I wrote my own. I ended up getting approved, I think, maybe 9 months after I submitted, which was a very exciting moment because we were coming into the summer or the spring. We got approved in 2015, late 2015, November. There's no business in Northern Michigan. You have no business in Northern Michigan in November when you're up here. We might do a couple shoots, November, December, not a lot. So we really realized it was going to be huge when spring came. We turned down, of course, the other guys that wanted to partner, guys and a couple women that wanted to partner with us. And the rest is history. We scrambled in April. We almost we got hit with such a wave of shoots. It pulled both my wife and I into the mix. We had to roll up our sleeves, use Google Documents, writing to spreadsheets, and get organized quick. We brought in a second drone photographer. To answer the question of why it's just too perfect of a fit, we do real estate photography. Drone photography is cinematic. It's beautiful. It's dreamy. When you watch it, you get excited. And we were watching what the other guy was putting out there, and the music and the shots, and it wasn't something we wanted to just let pass us by. We've built up a great reputation up here, and like Rob said, you got to have a lot of things in your bag of tricks. When you're servicing real estate agents, you don't just say, "Hey, I do floor plans." because your funnel is going to be about that big. You want to be able to do floor plans, virtual tours, 3D, twilight shots, and printable flyers and sign writers and single property websites, everything they need to market that home. So this was just a perfect, it fit right in nicely.
That's great. And Rob, was your experience somewhat similar?
It was very similar. We'd watched a few people out here, some of the videos and things that they did. We looked at the area, and because of the amount of retirement communities, golf course homes, homes on the mountains, just those shots that you couldn't get from any place else, we had to get into it. We wanted to be one of the first ones to be able to offer it in our market. So we jumped on it when we had the opportunity and saw that it was right. And, we just started taking the drone right out to appointments, and we'd be, hey, take a look at what we got. And, the agents were excited about it. Once they could see it and watching it fly, they were hooked on it. And from there, it just grew.
And were the two of you finding that you were getting these aerial service, packages paid for because of your existing network and the businesses that you had built, or did you find that having a drone and sort of putting that positioning language on your website and in your marketing materials and in your conversations, did that open up doors to new clients as well? Was it a mixture of both?
Yeah, for me, a mixture of both for sure. We currently work with about 180 realtors in this market, and we were surprised to see a lot of them. A lot of new ones come in when we offered the drone that hadn't been using us before. Oh wow, your photography services are excellent, and you do have a very nice virtual tour window, and wow, these weekly hit reports are great, and those things, yeah. So for us, it was a mix. We didn't get an overwhelming amount of new clients, but it was certainly enough that I would say probably new client out of that 30,000, probably 5,000 or 6,000 of that might have been just new business, new top agents that have started using us. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
It was a mix for us as well. A lot of our existing clients started taking it on and using it, but we also got a lot of clients from just having that out there. We just had a client that for the past 2 weeks had been using us strictly for aerials, nothing else. And then all of a sudden the inquiry came in that they needed regular photos, twilights, aerials, video, and they've just been strictly using us just for aerial.
That's great. What do you guys fly right now? And why are you flying what you're flying?
DJI sent me of RTV a drone years ago when this was first starting to happen, and I liked it. I flew it. It was easy, and so for my business, Blue Lava Media, I bought 2 Phantom 3 Pros, and that's what we've stuck with. The guys like it. We run with 2 birds, and they're very inexpensive, and they do 4K, and the guys are able to bracket their shots, do some nice HDR stuff as well on the stills. It does everything we need right now.
We are flying currently the Inspire 1, newest version of it. We went that route. We had 2 Phantom Visions from DJI, and we decided to go into the Inspire 1 because of the fact that we can't get parts or anything for the Vision 2 Plus anymore. Cameras, gimbals, things like that, batteries are kind of scarce out there. And so we decided to go into the Inspire 1, something that we can continue to grow with and that we can readily get parts for.
That's great. So I just got my Part 107 certification. I figured out insurance. I'm flying an introductory professional system like a Phantom 3, a Phantom 4, an Inspire, the DJI Mavic, the GoPro Karma. I feel pretty good about my tool set. And I've been making a few phone calls, and somebody says, hey, I've got a job for you, or hey, I'd like to talk to you about shooting this property for me. What does that process look like? Sort of walk me through, a shoot, start to finish. What is the research that you do before you approach a property that you're shooting? What are those conversations like with a client. What permissions do you have to secure? What do you pack? When you travel, how do you set up the shot? What does the post-processing look like? And again, I know I'm firing off 100 questions embedded into one, but that's how I roll. I'm just trying to sort of set up this story of what does it actually look like to shoot aerial work, in the real estate space.
Well, I'll start out with the first part, but because I don't actively fly for Blue Lava Media, I'll let Rob finish it off because I think you do actively fly. I'm very big on organizing things and making sure that when orders are coming in, you can handle the throughput. And that was something that we saw that needed attention immediately. April of 2016, we received probably our 20th or 30th order. Things were getting lost. Guys were showing up at the wrong property. They were shooting, they were reshooting, they weren't following instructions. It was getting messy. So one of the things I would recommend to everybody out there is set up a Google form, and they're free, they're beautiful, they're easy, they embed right into your website. You can capture the pertinent data. Let me go to my website, and I can which is bluelavamedia.com, and I can rattle off some of the things that we have found are vitally important when you're doing this to stay organized. If you're disorganized, it'll as soon as you get busy, it can get really bad for you. So you want to stay incredibly organized. So we, of course, ask, I think one of the most important things is which package are you going to be purchasing? So we have that on our website. You can visit the website and look under real estate pricing. We get their name, of course, their phone number, and then we use that. We put on there, we're going to use this to schedule the shoot. So give us the phone number of the person that we're going to use to schedule the shoot. Email address, property address. That's obviously incredibly important. The MLS number. You have to have that so that especially if you're going to deliver this in a vehicle, you can match it up with the right information in the, we put everything in a tour. Everything we do goes in a tour with our name on it, our branding. The agents get a weekly traffic report, and there's lead capture and printable flyers and all that stuff.
And
so
sorry,
for us,
sorry, Jason, not to interrupt, but when you say tour, what do you mean by that? When everything goes into a tour?
Well, we put it in the RTV tour player, and so RTV has a tour player that professional photographers, videographers can use to put their still images, panoramas, video in, and then deliver that in such a way that it's an interactive presentation for home shoppers. It gets syndicated out. It goes on the MLS. It goes on the agent's website. It sends the agent a weekly traffic report so they can see what kind of number of eyeballs that are on it every week and all of that fun stuff. It's sticky. People look at them. They look at them on their phones, devices, instead of just putting it on YouTube, where you can click and get lost and go from a house to watching kittens in seconds. So that's what we.
You know me too well.
So, yeah, exactly. So everything goes in the player, and then we brand that player, the URL of the player, to the professional photographer. So like my links are tours.bluelavamedia.com/the tour number. And so that's what I mean by a player. You can put in some stills. It's, if you think about like a really nice online presentation for that specific home, music, maybe some narration, maybe a video of the agent coming out, then some drone footage, then possibly a panorama, whatever you want to put into it, it'll play back in HD. So we gather the MLS information because the tour player is decorated and in that in the look and feel of the agent. So if it's Remax, there might be Remax balloons on the side. It might have beds, bath, price, square footage, that kind of stuff on the tour player, so that a home shopper can grab that information and look at it right away. So we ask for property type, MLS number, and then I think most importantly is special instructions. Please be specific what to shoot, what not to shoot. Any instructions must be indicated here upon order or sent via email. Thank you for understanding our need to keep things well organized for our drone pilots. And it's just that's our order form right there. It's a real simple one-pager, and that instantly gets emailed. We have it set up so that it emails us, and then we put it on the drone log. And that's a Google drive log that's shared with our drone pilots. And they're instructed to check the drone log this time of year we're down to one drone pilot, so Jake is done for the season. But Tom checks every day for new orders being placed on the log, and then he's going to pick up the phone, schedule, get it, and then the drone log has several things on it, like shot date, so that my wife and I know what day it's been shot. That's vital. So if someone calls us, where's my drone shoot? Where's my tour? We can easily say, well, it was shot yesterday. We need 3 days to do the edits and get it up and then import it into your tour. So that's important too, that kind of communication, making sure that you have the infrastructure set up so that your pilots can talk to you without you having to pick up the phone. So things like, so all the data from that form goes onto the drone log, but then we add a couple extra things on the drone log, like the day it's shot. And then I have 2 processors that take the videos out of our cloud, put them in the tours, and then they can write their names on that and mark it as delivered to agent, so that we know to pay the photographer, the aerial drone photographer, and the processor. So that's our process flow. I know the guys schedule with typically the homeowner, property owner. But before they do that, they'll call the agent and review the order, review the special instructions, make sure there's nothing we're missing. The biggest mistake you can make is not write something important down, like, I want you to show all 4 sides of the house. I don't want you to show the messy beach, and then putting the messy beach or something that they don't want in the video. Because that's the kind of work that'll ultimately just strangle you, having to go back and re-edit and repost. And if you have hundreds of orders coming in throughout a 3 or 4 month period, you have to be tight. And I think information is key for that. So communicate with the agent, give the home seller a call. Always find out too, with them, you want to gel. You want to say, this is what your listing professional wants me to photograph. Is there anything else that you would like me to add to that? Because ultimately, if the home seller's not happy, guess what? You're reshooting it. It doesn't matter. You're reshooting it. And so you check with the agent first, the listing agent. You check with the home seller. If they have conflicting reviews or ideas of what they want, stop. Don't shoot it. Put the brakes on. Get those 2 together on the phone, conference call in a room, write down what you want. We had that happen this year. The agent wanted nice, tight, up close to the house. The home seller wanted lofty, and Jake shot lofty. Well, what do you think we did? We reshot it. Got rid of the lofty. We tightened it up. So you have to be careful that what the agent wants and what the home sellers want are going to be pretty much identical. Once you have that and you're confident, you schedule it. Once it's scheduled, you show up, and from there, I'm going to let Rob take it, because he's done a lot of these himself.
We've got kind of a similar process. We do have a form online. If an agent does call us, we let them know we're going to take down the information. We're going to research the address. That way we can find out which class of airspace that property falls into, so that we know if it's in restricted airspace, that we have to apply for any type of waivers to operate in. One thing we do have on our forms as well is kind of the terms and conditions that also goes out in our confirmation email of the appointment, that, the drone pilot will probably be there around a certain time. The pilot is the ultimate one to decide whether or not they are going to fly due to safety reasons, if there's power lines in the area, things like that. All that's in our terms of conditions, that pilot in control, whether it's myself or anybody else, makes the ultimate decision on whether or not they're going to fly that day or if we're going to reschedule it. If they are scheduling it with a photo shoot as well, we let them know that chances are one photographer will be out there to do the home images, and that sometime throughout the day we'll be out there to get the aerials done. So we try and schedule the areas to get the optimal lighting. That way we're not shooting directly into the sun or anything like that. But once we got an address, we research it. We use SkyVector, AirMap to look at the airspaces, determine where that location is. If we can't fly, we have no issues telling an agent that due to restricted airspace and FAA regulations that we do have to apply for a waiver, and that's going to take up to 90 days. We found that if we're doing things the right way and following it, it gives us more credibility. The agents respect us more than a fly-by-night, I'm just going to go fly anywhere and do what I want type thing. We've gained a lot more respect, even back when none of the laws were completely in place and we ceased our drone operations until everything came out. All of our agents, we didn't lose anybody because of that. They understood and they respected that and gave us a lot more credibility. So once we've mapped out and we've got a location that we can fly, we do double check with the agent to find out, is there anything else, besides the main area that you want photographed? They'll tell us, make sure you get the lakes or anything like that. Most of the homeowners, they're more interested in just coming out and seeing the drone operate. They're amazed with the pictures that come out of it. Very rarely do the homeowners ask us to get something specific. Most of the agents have already told them what they're going to photograph and have taken by us. So it's really seamless to where we go out, we're up in the air, get our pictures or video, and right back down and on to the next job.
That's great. So just to kind of recap the responses, the great responses that you two guys just gave, I'm hearing a few things. So both of you seem to have a standardized intake process. So you know what questions that you need answered ahead of time at the very beginning of the conversation. So that seems to be pretty important. The research phase seems to be pretty important as well, as far as understanding airspace considerations. You mentioned SkyVector, you mentioned AirMap. Those are both great tools. I'll make sure to link to those below. And then both of you spoke to communication. At the end of the day, you're in the client services business, right? So any sort of service-based business requires very clear communication. And I've run into issues myself when speaking with clients performing a service. And sometimes if the ABCs are not spelled out exactly as they should be, it can create issues down the road that sort of snowball into bigger issues than they should be. And Rob, like you said, you had to go back and do the shoot again a second time. So those seem to be kind of the big takeaways. Thank you guys for that. That's very helpful. One thing I want to talk about, because you're both real estate marketers, and I'm thinking to myself, a lot of people might be watching this video and they're able to kind of visualize what the shoot's going to look like, and they're able to take the footage home and render it and create some really high quality photos and videos. Where does all of this ultimately end up? And I say that because, Jason, you mentioned MLS. Rob, I'm on your site right now and I see Zillow certified photographer. I'm familiar with Zillow and a number of other places where you can search for homes and they've got these beautiful photos. So how does it all work? What does the broker end up doing with the photos and videos? Do you guys help with that at all, or are you just delivering the photos and videos? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would say a little bit of both. I mean, we there's really lots of different outlets for real estate photos. Almost every real estate broker or MLS system nowadays is going to push to Realtor.com. A lot of them push to Zillow. Most of them do. I know there's some that don't. But there's a lot of other outlets that you can that home portals, homes.com, Real Estate Digital. A lot of them like the tours push up, or the home information up to YouTube and the tours to YouTube. So we get the images prepped, get the final cuts of the video prepped, get the productions that we make for the agents ready to go, what we would call picture perfect, 100% ready to go. And then we send them to the agents and to the MLS, and then we syndicate out to sites like Realtor.com, Trulia, and almost all the MLS boards push to the sites like Zillow and everywhere else. So the productions themselves and the images that you take could end up on dozens of sites if you do it right. If the agent does it right and they push it out there.
And Rob, would you agree with that?
I agree with that. We do a lot with social media platforms as well. The RTV platform, we show the agents how to share their virtual tours right through Facebook so that they've got a little thumbnail of the property and they can share them right on Facebook, YouTube, all of our non-branded videos for the agents. They can put those in the MLS, Zillow. It's really endless this day and age with the way the internet grabs information and pulls it to where your images can end up, anywhere along with the videos and everything else.
And that sort of brings to mind a conversation I had with Enrico Schaefer from Drone Law Pro. We did a similar kind of interview like this, and he was talking about photo and video licensing and sort of copyright issues. Have either of you guys ever run into any issues where a photo of yours ends up somewhere it shouldn't be, or is this something that you discuss with the client ahead of time? Is this something that's already built into your paperwork when you're structuring that relationship?
For us, we've built it into our paperwork, our disclosure, our licensing is for the life of the listing. So if a listing expires or they pull it off the market early, that ends that agreement right there. They no longer have a use for the image as a license for it. We have ran into instances with copyright infringement. We found images being used on websites, blogs, all by the same agent. We've tried to work out a deal with that agent where, give us credit, use them type thing. They didn't want to do that. So there was some letters exchanged back and forth, and, eventually they did take them down. But this day and age, I've kind of accepted the fact that unless somebody's using it on a billboard or a major TV commercial, somehow, somewhere, if you're producing high quality images that look good, they're going to be found on the internet somewhere. It's just a fact of life this day and age. I used to think, I got to check my images and drop them into Google Images and see where they were coming up. But this day and age, it's just inevitable that your images, if you're producing quality work, is going to end up somewhere. Like I said, if I drive down the road and see it on a billboard for a brokerage and I didn't shoot that house for the brokerage, might have something to go on. But outside of that, your images are everywhere between all the sites and everything that just pull the information.
Yeah, we take an approach that I've had for a really long time, and that's if it's just because we're in the real estate business. Most of the time, when these houses sell, the use for that image is gone, or the need for the realtor to use that image is gone. Some of them do put them in their portfolios, marketing materials. Some of them, I know some agents will have it printed up on the side of their car or something. At the end of the day, we don't care. We like the fact that they're giving us $5,000-6,000 a year. Some of these big clients, if they want to use the image any way they want, they can. We just want their next listing. That's what we want. Give us your next listing. We're going to be there. We're going to shoot it better than anybody else. And we're the driving force in Northern Michigan right now for all of real estate photography with the number of agents we have. So there's only 450 agents in our MLS board, and we're working now with almost half of them, it's huge. So we've never run into any problems ever with competition using our images. That I would draw a line with that, obviously. But our agreement with an agent is there isn't one. That's it. There's no agreement. We're going to give you the images. You do what you want with them. And we like to keep it simple, stupid at Blue Lava Media. Pay us. We're going to do a great job. We're going to show up. What you do with your images is up to you. We're going to shoot the heck out of all your homes.
Mm-hmm. And Jason, I like that approach. I mean, one thing you were talking to me about before we pressed the record button and got this started is this idea of repeat business. And it seems like for you guys, keeping it simple, keeping it friendly, just focusing on the end product being absolutely amazing and being professional seems to have worked really well for you guys.
It has. And we've since we've been in business, we have received a small amount of calls. There is a gentleman in our city here that does very high end. He's priced 2-3 times that of which we are. And he does a paper pen agreement between himself and the agents for every photo shoot. And there's a long list of copyright stuff. And Rob, I don't know if you have something like that. I think you just have it probably on your website and enforce it if you need to. You don't make them sign an agreement for every one, do you?
No, when they book online, they have to accept our terms and conditions, and it's all in there if they read it.
Right. And I have terms and conditions as well. There's, cancellation fees and all the standard stuff on your terms and conditions. But yeah, we essentially we let them do whatever they want with the images. We've never run into problems. Um, I think if we ever feel that there's a market for high res and we have someone that we know is always printing them, I might change my mind and say, hey, you know what? It's hard for me to send you these images all the time in this size, because when we send them the images for the virtual tour and for the MLS, they're sized down to 1280 by 960. So we're not sending them 4K images. They don't get the images that big. They have no reason to have them that big. They get a tour, a branded tour, a non-branded tour for the MLS. We design a printable flyer for them on our TV's flyer generator, and we figure out what size their MLS needs, and then the RTV system will chop the images to those sizes and send them a download link, and they take them from there. I suppose if somebody wanted and we knew that they always were getting them printed, we might, if I saw an opportunity, I'd take it, just like anybody else. So if I might make, 4K images ready for print, and you put a marketing swing on it, sell it, and be done with it. But yeah. So
that's great. And you mentioned RTV a few times. And just to remind folks, it's Real Tour, so TOUR, realtourvision.com. And if you're not familiar with the RTV community and set of products and services, if you are doing any kind of real estate marketing, it isn't a nice to have tool. It's a need to have tool, from what I understand. Okay. Rob, can you speak a little bit to how you're using RTV and how you got hooked up with RTV and sort of what your thoughts are?
Well, we got hooked up with RTV, I think it's probably 4 or 5 years ago, I think now, and we were looking for a tour platform that we could offer our clients, but yet have it be customizable. We wanted to set ourselves apart from anything else out there, so we wanted to be able to customize and brand each tour for the agent and be able to have some creativity with it. It was extremely important because everybody else had a standard black background or blue background. We wanted the ability to be able to go into Photoshop and create a loader image when the tour is loading that has the agent's information right on it, so that it's big, prominent while it's right there. We wanted something that we could incorporate video in, that we could deliver everything in one shot to the agent and not have to use multiple platforms. And several calls with Jason, he showed me what they were working on at the time. And after that, we were hooked. After that, found out that we were getting jobs from RTV, which definitely was a plus to build our portfolio, shooting hotels, things like that. So it's been a great relationship with RTV, and they've done some fantastic things for us, and the product, our agents just love it.
That's really great. And Jason, you guys offer a free trial of RTV?
Yeah, we do. If you want to test it out, the whole system operates off of tour credits. So in exchange for us hosting the images and delivering them and keeping the servers up and running and building a better system for tomorrow, we're just getting ready to release a bunch of new technology. We got a new platform we're launching. We got a new tour player we're launching. We've got lots of we're constantly editing and working on making the system better, so that when you walk into an office, you get a smile and a wow, or a sense that you've just impressed somebody with something cool or cool technology, because agents like that. They're drawn to it. So that's what we do, and it comes with a price tag of what we call a tour credit. So when you publish your home presentation, it costs the current cost of one tour credit is $10. So the trial account, when you set one up at, you can just type in Go RTV. If you Google RTV, you probably end up with Retro Television Network or something. But I think there's a RTV Silicone too. But it's if you type in Go RTV, you'll find our website, or just virtual tour company, virtual tour provider, Real Tour Vision. It's pretty hard not to find us if you Google virtual tour software. But we give you 2 free tour credits when you sign up and set up that test account. And you can pound on it. The trial account never goes away. It's And so yeah, it's a neat thing. In fact, I think we have you might have a page, Alan, already set up that you could post to this video to show them that if they wanted to set up a trial account.
I do, yeah. I'll make sure to share that link. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is pricing and packaging. And I know that both of you guys have been in the real estate marketing business for a while. But imagine somebody just getting started, wanting to offer aerial photography or videography in the real estate space. How should somebody think about pricing and packaging? One thing that comes to mind is that the two of you operate in different markets, right? The market in Traverse City might look very different than the market in Phoenix. So I imagine that's a consideration. The types of properties might be a consideration. This concept of repeat business might be a consideration. But assuming that I am a certified pilot, I have insurance, I've got a good looking website, maybe I've got a really good demo reel or a number of jobs that I've done for free so people can kind of browse the high quality work that I can bring to the table. How would you guys coach me on pricing?
Well, go ahead, Rob.
All right, Jason.
All right, I would say, well, the big thing that I've always told people is you look at real estate as, again, it's repeat business, and you treat it as volume business. You price it in such a way that you're assuming you're going to get all of Bob or Jane's listings. And you don't always, but there's quite a few that when you do a good job, you do. Or you get a good majority of them. In real estate, I always say you price it. Real estate is high volume, lower dollar. Ours is $150 if you order a photo package, and $259 if you don't order a photo package. That's our drone only. That's probably fairly similar to yours, Rob.
We are at $249 across the board. So it doesn't matter if you add it to a package or if you do it separately. We're $249 the minute we leave the ground.
And that, what is that? Our $150 package is 6 still shots and 1 minute of video footage.
We're at anywhere from 6 to 10 images. If we're doing just images only, if they request the video as well, that includes the video. So it just depends on what we're shooting for them at the time, but we'll shoot the video as well if they want it. If not, then it's just still images. Okay.
And then our $259 package is up to 20 stills and up to 3 minutes of video footage. And we got quite a few of those orders this year too. Non-real estate's a different story. So real estate's high volume, lower dollar. Commercial, businesses, resorts, B&Bs, golf courses, hotels, assisted care facilities, different story. That's going to be high dollar jobs, but probably low volume. It's very difficult to land an account that feeds you 20, 30 golf resorts right out of the gate. But you could certainly charge more for that. And I believe we charge $750 for commercial work, a golf course, and that gives them 1 minute and 10 stills.
That's great. And Rob, do you do commercial shoots as well?
We do. We price those out on per job basis, depending on what they're looking at for the end product. We found that every time we set a price for a commercial project, that once we were out on site, things changed up, and so it kept fluctuating. So, what we learned from that was that to get a clear, concise idea of what they want and exactly what video, what stills they want, and put it together and price it out, and that's what we're going to go off of. So if they say that they want 2.5 minutes of aerial video and photography, well, that's going to change the pricing versus somebody that just wants a fly by the front of the building and that's it. So the commercial ones, we customize the pricing based on exactly what they want.
That's great. Thank you guys for sharing those specifics. I know that a lot of our listeners and watchers are going to be very grateful that you guys shared those numbers, because I just talk to so many people every week who have no idea where to start thinking about this stuff. So those are two really good benchmarks.
Well, and Alan, too, on the pricing, what I would say to somebody starting out is at least find your mid to high end people and stay in that price range. Don't just go out there and kill the market saying I'll do video and aerials for $69 on any property out there. Do some research, price yourself with the middle to the high end of the market so that it doesn't become a saturated fly by night. Everybody's charging $59 and nobody can make a living off of it. Because if you're doing $59, I guarantee that if you have so many operations, you're not going to get to them all, and you're going to end up losing clients. So really stay with the market and what the market's bearing.
I'm glad you brought that up, Rob, because when you get down to those kind of margins, you don't have enough. You might be fine doing the shoot for that yourself, but as soon as you grow to a point where you need to hire somebody, you're done. You're done. At that point, you could make the decision. Well, I'm just going to be the guy that has 15 clients, and I charge lower than everybody else, and I'm not going to grow anymore, and I'm going to be happy with that. And there's people out there like that, boutique operations, but it's not expandable. And if you want to expand and grow, you have to have some meat on the bone there to pay your employees.
I love it. Thank you guys. So we talked a little bit about client communication, and something that I've been reading about as far as real estate photography is preparing the house ahead of time, right, for the shoot, making sure that the bathrooms are clean, making sure that the toys have been put away, that everything has been swept under the bed, so to speak. Rob, you've got a great page on your website called Preparing the Home that walks through sort of how to maximize the photo potential. When you think about setting up a drone shot, is there anything that the client should do to set up the home ahead of time? Any sort of checklist that you guys follow, anything like that?
We recommend to the agents, have the landscapers go by and make sure the yards are tidied up. The palm trees out here, they don't have any of the, all the stuff that can just make an image look horrible with palm tree leaves hanging down. Get everything trimmed nice and neat, especially with the golf courses out here. You don't want limbs hanging down in front of your shots or just creating, a bad atmosphere. So we recommend have the landscapers come by, make sure that yard's just looking as pristine as can be. A lot of times during the monsoon season out here, dust, debris, everything gets blown around. So if need be, it's easy enough to reschedule aerials because it's outdoors. We don't need access to the property or anything. Let us know. We'll work with you, but get the landscapers by and make sure that yard's looking as good as it can. Pools are clean. Just clean up everything because we are going to be photographing down. We're going to see the backyard. We're going to see the patio. So if all the toys are spread across the patio, it's not going to be a very appealing shot.
That's helpful. Jason, anything to add to that?
Now, I let my guys handle that portion of it. When they contact the homeowner, we definitely tell them to have the landscapers come or make sure that your everything is cleaned up. We had 2 instances this summer where we had to do some photoshopping of what Rob was just saying, some beach toys and stuff. It was just messy down by the beach, and it was a $4 million home. Well, we did some photoshopping. So it happens. You have to, that's where that communication really comes in, because one of the things I learned this year was when to charge for those extras and when not to charge, because it'd be really touchy. And if you shot it, if they left stuff out and you told them to have it all picked up, but now they're asking you to edit video footage and Photoshop a bunch of beach toys out of the beach, that's certainly something you can go back and say, okay, well, there's going to be an editing fee of. And, you want those editing fees to be on the lower side, because it's going to, I would say don't gouge on that. Just take care of whoever your editor is going to be. Don't try and profit off of mistakes that the agents make, because the agents are going to be probably paying for that. Mm-hmm. And it only takes a couple of those mistakes before they really make sure that it doesn't happen again. We charge what we need to pay Tom and Jake to correct it, but Heather and I don't take any off the top of that. Some people might say that's silly, but it's painful as it is to the agent to get that extra $35, $40 ding to re-edit the video in Photoshop. they usually make sure it doesn't happen again. So
I can definitely respect that. So final question for you guys. I think that there is and hopefully you'd agree with me here, there's a really big difference between buying a drone, getting certified, doing those 1 or 2 jobs for friends and family. You know, maybe somebody tapped you on the shoulder, you bought a drone, you just passed your certification, and you have a couple $100 under your belt. There's a huge difference between finding success doing that and building a long-term sustainable real estate marketing business. So the thought that I want to leave the audience with here is, what's some high level advice you have for that person who is interested in putting his or her head down and building a long-term sustainable business where they find success doing this kind of work? Think about the journey that you two have had. If you had to boil it all down, all those years, all those client experiences into a couple of bullet points, like what would your advice be for that person really looking to take this seriously and find success?
Go ahead, Rob.
It's been a long process, and I've really learned a lot along the way. Jason and RTV has helped out with a lot of, just bouncing ideas, things like that with their Facebook page and groups and conventions, all the stuff that they've done, to help bring real estate photographers together has really helped out. One of the biggest things that I think I've learned is, I don't put anything out there anymore unless I'm 100% sure, ready, and capable of handling the business. Because you just don't know what you're going to put out there that's just going to take off like wildfire. So always thinking ahead, when I launch this, what am I going to do if 75 clients call me tomorrow and say, I want this? Do I have a plan in place? The other big thing is that don't go out of your box. Don't try and be a jack of all trades. And, if somebody wants the whole lifestyle videos with the actors and scripts and things like that, that's not our forte. I'll tell an agent that right up front. And I feel that I get more respect telling them that this is not what we do. This is the type of video that we do. We'll do a video walkthrough of your home. If you're looking for that type of video, find somebody you can refer to that's in your market that does those type of videos, that has that type of equipment. That way you're not trying to figure out, okay, what do I need? Lighting, rental cars, actors, all this stuff. How much time am I going to spend shooting this, editing it? Somebody else has already got that. Dial in your skills for what you want to offer and what you're going to provide to agents versus trying to, an agent calls you and says, oh, I want a lifestyle video. And you're thinking dollar signs, ooh, big dollar, big house, agent can pay it, and then have it not be what the agent wanted in the end result. Then you've kind of lost that rapport and that relationship.
Wow, that's good stuff. I think the big thing for the advice I would give for somebody just starting out is pick a great name, work on your credibility boosters. Don't settle for anything but a .com. I still firmly believe that. You can get .photography. I think that's to me. Maybe I'm old school. It's wonky. You should work on your credibility boosters, things like logo, where I see Rob's wearing his. That's awesome, fantastic. What I call a credibility booster, the most simplistic form of a credibility booster, is a business card. Well, you take a business card, you get a business line, you get a decal on your vehicle, you get insured, you get you show up at the events. Maybe it's a golf outing, maybe you sponsor a hole, maybe you cook chili at the chili cook-off or carve a pumpkin for the pumpkin showing for the local real estate board. Start making yourself known and show up at these things and contribute to the community. Those are all going to be some of the really important things that'll lay the groundwork that'll help your business blossom. Partner up with a company. I'm not saying you have to pick ours. There's a lot of virtual tour platforms out there, but you're going to need a tour player. You'll want to have a player. Every single agent that orders photographs, whether it's from Tour Factory, OBO, Circle Pics, My Visual Listings, Rob's company, Blue Lava, an RTV provider, anybody out there, they're going to put their images in a player. So there's certain things agents are going to expect. They're going to expect distribution. They're going to expect social friendliness, mobile friendliness, weekly traffic reports, printable flyers, lead capture. There's certain things and a lot of those things are going to be out of control if you try to build that all on your own using a shelf product or your own server. So partnering with a company that does stuff like that for you is integral right out of the gate. Make sure that they let you private label it like we do, and make sure that when you're building, you understand what you're doing as you're putting things together. Build a beautiful business card for yourself. So many people I see get started and they don't even build a demo reel. Well, you got to have a demo reel, something that you can send out. It's your fishing lure. You cast it out there. Hey, click on that tour. This will tell you all about what we do. And if you use a player, you can put in some of your best still image, some of your best drone stills, some of your best drone video clips, and you can voice it, narrate it, and really put together a nice demo reel that's all about you for your company. Those are the things that build it up. And like Rob said, have the infrastructure. Don't try to get too far out of your wheelhouse. I don't recommend coming out of the gate trying to offer everything that some advanced RTV tour providers do, because you'll flatten yourself. Maybe don't get started with floor plans until a year or so into it, is what I'm saying. So be cautious on how you spend your dollars. It's a company like this with a drone can be you could start something up for right around $400 or $500 for all your camera gear, your drone, your computer. Did I say 100,000? If I did,
I was gonna say.
Did I say 100? Yeah, not 100,000. About $5,000. You could get a drone, some camera gear, lenses, and computer, and a website, and be off on your way. That's what that's kind of the ballpark number I give people. But the big thing is service. Have fun with it. Service, service, service. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how flashy your car is, your business card, how shiny your rims are, or your website is. When you walk into that house, you are selling that agent, and you are representing them. You take off your shoes. You say 2 or 3 nice things about them. You're on time. If you're not on time, you better have a darn good excuse. You better call and never let it happen again. And you thank them, and you get out to as many of those local events as you can and shake some hands and just build relationships. And it takes time, but as Alan and Rob pointed out, it's repeat business. And it's great. You can, at the end of the year, you'll run your QuickBooks reports or whatever you use, Peachtree QuickBooks, and you'll look, and each client will have a big number next to them. And every year that'll get bigger as they become a more successful real estate agent. That success is going to be carried right to you because you are their personal assistant on a per listing basis, and that's what you strive for.
Jason, Rob, thank you guys so much for pulling back the curtain and sharing both of your businesses with us. I can tell, there's a lot of professionalism, there's a lot of integrity, and there's a lot of passion. I think both of you guys have a lot of fun doing this. So thank you so much for sharing your stories. I think this video has certainly helped me and hopefully our listeners as well. Where can people find you guys if they want to learn more?
realtourvision.com. or bluelavamedia.com.
And we're at lmp360media.com.
Great. Thank you guys again. I really appreciate it. Look forward to chatting with you both soon.